If you,
I can fold it. I mean, just one piece. So, that's,
Test.
okay.
okay.
So I don't have to All right, good morning, and I'd like to welcome all of you, and I call this 84th annual meeting to order of your Newton County Rural Electric Membership Cooperative. Thank you for taking the time to view us online. At this time, I would like to call Mark Jefford, your board secretary, for the reading of notice of meeting, proof of notice, and the minutes of our annual meeting from December 1st, 2022.
Thanks, Rick. Good morning. The first certificate of mailing certifies that the annual meeting ballots for the Newton County REMC, totaling 1,025 pieces, were deposited in the U.S. mail on November 7th, 2023 at the O'Fallon, Missouri Post Office. The second certificate of mailing certifies that the annual meeting minutes from 2022 and the balance sheet for the Newton County REMC, totaling 1,030 pieces, were deposited in the U.S. mail on November 27th, 2023 at the O'Fallon, Missouri Post Office. Both of these certificates came from the National Information Solutions Corporation and were signed by Kim Hope. In lieu of reading the minutes of the annual meeting from December 1st, 22, which were included in the mailing on November 27th, can we get a motion to move that they will be accepted as mailed?
Is there a motion? Mike Cooley, seconded by Kevin.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Motion
Thank you.
carries. Thank you, Mark. And now I'd like to bring up Mike Sheets, the line superintendent, for a report.
Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about a few of the projects your line department completed since last year's annual meeting. The first one is the completion of the Bertheville substation. It is our first substation that we don't share, so it is a big deal to us. As we worked on it, I realized that there were going to be some phasing issues. The transformer at the new sub is different than the transformer at the NIPSCO subs that were feeding the metering points we were to replace. The goal was to get our phasing straightened out so that we can easily switch to another circuit if needed. We decided to do it right and not just make it work. That's when I reached out to Jasper County REMC, Wabash Valley Power, and some local electricians for help. We went to every three-phase bank on our system, minus those out of Colfax, circuit by circuit, and rolled the wires so our entire system would be in phase. It went way better than I expected. I planned on it taking a week, and we had it done in 3 days. I'd like to thank Vince Sumner and Kyle Schwabe from Wabash Valley, Ken Gerhardt, Dave Skinner, and the rest of the guys from Jasper County. Also Dave Welsh from Hopkins, Steve Bauer from Bauer Electric, and Tim Abrams and his crew from Rose Acres. All these people that helped are the true definition of the co-op way. Again, thanks to all those that helped us making the switch over safe and successful. This year, the line crew also built 2 miles of three-phase to customers for new grain setups. They did their normal annual maintenance, which includes tree trimming, breaker changes, and pole inspections. Before introducing the line crew, I think there are a few things that need to be said about being a lineman at Newton County. We don't have specialists. We don't have a tree crew. We don't have a service crew. We don't have a construction crew or a metering department. Our linemen do all of that. And I think that makes them some of the most well-rounded linemen you'll find in the state. I sincerely appreciate all they do. Line foreman, Troy Burton. Matt Beasley. Matt graduated from the REAP program this year and is now a journeyman lineman. Dylan Grettencord. Dylan is in his 3rd year of the apprenticeship. Ryan Cox and Hayden Maddox. Ryan and Hayden are in their 2nd year. In closing, I want to thank the board of directors, Brent, Brenda, Amy, and Candace for all their efforts throughout the year. And most importantly, I want to thank our members for being easy to work with and understanding when we have outages, planned or unplanned. Thanks.
Good job. Stay here a little bit. Stay here a little bit.
Okay.
So the board and I want to thank Mike for what he said, all the special work that he did, the time and the effort to get that new sub up and going, and to all the employees for their hard work on the project of the substation, just to improve the reliability for our members. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to have manager's report from Brent Welsh.
Morning. I'll start off going over the financial report a little bit. We'll summarize. Everybody has copies of the detailed one, so we'll have you call in if you have more questions after this. But our total assets grew from 11.7 million to 12.2 million this year. It's mostly from growth in net utility plant. That increased $358,000 to $9.2 million. For liabilities, we borrowed $170,000 on our line of credit with CFC. We paid $88,000 down on our long-term debt to get it down to $3.27 million. Total liabilities increased $72,000. Our total equities and margins grew $446,000. Our operating margins for the year were up $195,000 over last year. So revenue went up $208,000, while our operating expenses were only up $12,000. A lot of the increase in margins was due to our line crew adding plant. Spending money to build line affects cash and net assets rather than being counted as an expense. So we grew in value, but we didn't have a whole lot of cash left over at the end. Our detailed balance sheets mailed to everybody, so call into the office and be happy to go over with you if you have any questions. And it's been a year of big changes here at REMC. Some were to our system, like the new substation Spud talked about. And yeah, and Spud, he did do an awesome job. He solved the problem first. He understood it better than like a lot of highly professional engineers from other places, and he came up with a plan to fix it. He saved us a bunch of money and a bunch of problems that could have been a big issue. Besides the sub, there are some changes in personnel. If you weren't paying attention, I'm a different bald guy than the one that's talked for the last 23 years. Mike Butler retired in January. I'm born and raised in Goodland, and I graduated from Purdue. I was a banker out of college, and then when Mike became general manager, I became the office manager. April 2000. It's a long time ago, it feels like, but I took over as general manager when Mike retired in January. He was a good boss and a good friend. So because of that change, let me introduce Brenda Donahue. She moved up from the cashier's position to the office manager position, and she just survived her first audit. It was pretty clean, so she's a little relieved. There's a lot to learn, and accounting in rural electric co-ops is different than normal business accounting. It's nonprofit. Gets a little complicated sometimes. She works hard, she's smart, she does a good job. Next, Amy Babcock. She's the head cashier now, and she's really grown this year and is taking ownership of the position. Really proud of how far you've come. She's kept us out of trouble on board meetings and stuff, even though it's not quite her job anymore. And Candace Krug joined us in January. She's creative, she's smart, she's outgoing, works hard, and she's a welcome addition. If you notice the Christmas decorations, we didn't do that before Candace got here. Okay. Of course, with all these new people, there's a learning curve and there's growing pains. 7 of our 10 employees are in new positions in the last year and a half. The upside to that is I get to work with people who are happy to come to work, new job, trying to get better at, and no one's burned out. Everybody's excited. You don't get to do that very often. So, It's good. All right, you guys. Good.
Dismissed.
In case the phone rings, you guys gotta get back to work. Okay. It's good they're open to new things because there's a lot of change going on in our industry. Government is getting involved in a lot of stuff. They want to cut carbon. They want to push towards electric vehicles. Broadband is a big issue. Supply chain issues are still going on. Cybersecurity, co-ops are infrastructure and they're a target of terrorists. Right-of-way laws are changing. Trying to keep up with all the changes in electrifying stuff with stuff that wasn't designed to handle that kind of stuff. Just name a few. Bad news is none of these make electricity cheaper. Coal is cheap, but they're trying to phase it out. The mix it's being replaced with is more expensive and it's not as reliable. Thankfully, our Power Association, Wabash Valley, has done a good job mitigating risk and planning for the future. So far, our only changes locally are the annual automatic fuel cost charges. Those are just straight pass through from what they charge us. Hopefully we'll continue our system growth to keep holding the line on rates. For the future plans, we have a new line truck coming this year, hopefully. We're also starting the process to get our final substation put up around Jackson or Beaver Township. It'll be a few years, but at that point, every part of our system will have a backup feed in case of an outage. And we won't have to wait for a NIPSCO crew to come from LaPorte to fix stuff. We can take care of everything ourselves at that point. We'll own it. It'll also allow growth in our system by relieving load from our Colfax substation up by Fair Oaks. We're looking at grants for that, as well as a possible solar project with Wabash Valley. It's a challenging process. Okay, to wrap things up, first of all, I'd like to thank South Newton's media class for your help. Ms. Peregrine is her first year doing it. Hopefully everything's going good. I guess we won't know until we see it. But I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity they gave me this year and their support all year. They're the most engaged board we've had, and since I've been here, and they're keeping up with all the changes going on. They're educating themselves. There's a lot to learn, and we really are lucky to have them. We all want to keep providing reliable, affordable power. Thanks again to our line crew, our inside people. They work hard. You're in good hands with them. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Fine job. At this time, I'd like to introduce your board of directors. Vice President Mike Cooley, who represents Carpenter, Newton, and Jordan townships in Jasper County. Your board secretary, Mark Jeffert, represents Jefferson, south of 24, York, Parish Grove, and Benton County. Brian Johnson, Iroquois Township. Kevin Durham, Grant in Newton County, and Richland Township in Jasper County. Brent Creek in Center, Union, Pine, and Gilboa Townships of Benton County. And our newest director, Ron Summers, from McCollum, Jackson, and Colfax Township in Newton County. He was appointed in July. And Ron, thank you for accepting the position as a board member, and welcome. He replaced Scott Clark, who served over 25 years. And also a thank you to Scott for all the years of service. I appreciate all your knowledge and his input to the board. We as board members take our time and look at the business side as well as a consumer, because we are consumers of the rural electric, and try to make the best decisions for both. Your board has monthly meetings to review the financials and report of operations from the manager, Brent. We have very good attendance. We also have a report from Brent Creek, our Indiana Electric Cooperative representative, as they support us with their safety training for the outside help. They look at the office also inside to see if there are any safety issues. And they are our voice in the state and federal government. Jeremy Fetty is our lawyer from the law firm Parr, Ritchie, Franderson, Patterson, and Cruz. This will be his last meeting in Newton County. He is becoming the lead lawyer for Wabash Valley Power Alliance. I'm happy for you, Jeremy, but sad for Newton County REMC. Congratulations and thank you for your service and dedication to our board and membership. Our new lawyer will be J. Michael DeWeese from the same firm. Our auditor is the London Whitty Group. We received a clean audit. Thank you to Amy, Candace, Brent, and especially Brenda, as Brent said, her first audit. I want to say now thank you to all the employees inside and outside. You guys make being a board member easy. Your board voted to return the years 71 and 72 capital credits, which will go out in January of 24. I am the representative, I represent Washington, Beaver, and Jefferson Township north of 24, and I'm board representative of the Generating and Transmission Cooperative Wabash Valley Power Alliance. We have all requirement contracts with them. They secure and sell us the electric power for us. As a board member of Wabash, I see several challenges which Brent brought up here and in upcoming. With the EPA and the Clean Air Act, the power supply with closing down of our most reliable source of power is coal plants. They are on a schedule of retirement for shutdowns, and that makes the difficult decision on maintaining and how much do we spend to maintain the coal plants that Wabash owns. With that being stated, the stability of the rates is a challenge, like Brent said. The challenge that the co-op will be facing also is the supply chain, is other shortages or delays of wire, poles, and especially transformers that are delayed 2 to 5 years out for delivery after ordering. So to help with that, we have to add inventory. Also, another challenge is the weather, which seems to be more extreme all the time, which will add to more outages, costs to repair or replace wire and poles. Lastly is the rise in interest rates, which puts a burden on individual and businesses alike. The trend being and will continue to be more reliant on the electricity, with the addition to existing homes, new homes, larger farms, bins and buildings, and businesses also expanding. Not to mention the possibility of electric cars, trucks that will be charging at home and businesses. In closing, with all the noted challenges, I feel that we have at Newton County REMC the staff inside and the linemen capable of fulfilling the task for many years to come. So please have a Merry Christmas and let us remember the reason for the season, and God bless all of you. At this time, I'd like Jeremy to come up for the report of nominating and then the election results.
Thank you, Rick. As Rick said, this is my last meeting. I've been working with Newton County REMC for 14 or 15 years. I feel like I was a kid when I started. I was a little bit younger. It's been easy. It's been easy because Brent and his team, Mike and his team, and this board of directors, no matter what they've done, they're always doing what they think is best for the members. It's easy when you work with a group that they try to. Their goal is always to provide reliable, low-cost power to the members, and you can see it being around this group that you know, throughout these years being in these meetings, that's exactly, you know, what they're trying to do and what the focus is. So there's been some work, but I feel like it's been easy because of that. And I said it's a great group of people. I've really enjoyed working with them. They're, like I said, they do truly care about the membership, and that's one thing I've learned, and said it's colleagues and some friends in working with them. So I appreciate that, and now I'll get down to what they called me up here for. So the Committee of Nomination appointed by the Board of Directors held its meeting in the offices of Newton County Rural Electric Membership Corporation at 4151 East US 24, Goodland, Indiana, on the 25th day of September 23rd at 7:30 p.m., with the following committee members being in attendance: Pamela Moulter, Philip Atkinson, Matthew Carlson, Dave Pettit, James Chamberlain, Stephen Eilers, and Pam Edmonds. Thank you to the nominating committee for your work. The nominating committee selected and nominated the following directors for a 2-year term. For York Parish, Grove, Jefferson, south of 24 townships, Mark Jeffert. For Iroquois Township, Brian Johnson. For Carpenter, Newton, Jordan Townships, H. Michael Cooley. For McClellan, Jackson, Colfax Townships, Ronald Summers. There were no initial nominations or nominations by writing. So, you know, with that, announced that Mark, Brian, and H. Michael Cooley and Ronald Summers are elected for a 2-year term. Thank you and congrats. I'll turn it back over to Rick.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will draw for the year's worth of electricity up to $1,500. Is there 2? Okay, spin it.
Yeah.
Where's the opening? All right, the first one is Kent Nybert. Kent Nybert. Our Kent Nybert. All right, wrap her up again. There's one stuck up in here. Charles Deno. All right. Very good. All right. Free electricity up to $1,500. And all the other ballots will get $10 off of next month's meeting, next month's bill. All right, at this time, we conclude the 84th annual meeting of the Newton County REMC. Thank you. Have a great day.